You walk through the front door after a long day, and the sight hits you like a wave. The coffee table littered with newspapers, a pair of slippers left by the sofa, a pile of unopened mail on the counter. The room feels smaller, heavier, almost suffocating. And yet, the thought of picking up a single thing makes your head spin. You know the chores won't disappear on their own, but right now, you just can't summon the energy to tackle them. What if I told you there's a way to reclaim a tidy, peaceful home without needing a shred of motivation? Meet Horace Leland, a 71-year-old retired jazz musician who lives in a warm, sunlit apartment filled with memories, trumpets, sheet music, and photographs from decades of performances. Horace loves the comfort of his space, the soft rhythm of his routines, and the joy of hosting his grandchildren on weekends. But for years, he felt trapped by the clutter, piles of laundry, scattered books, and dishes left from breakfast. The mess weighed on him, not physically, but emotionally, making even small tasks feel like mountain climbs. Then one day, Horace discovered a set of 6 unusual, almost effortless strategies that transformed the way he keeps his home clean. These aren't long cleaning sessions or exhausting checklists, they are tiny, practical steps that anyone over 60 can do, even on the laziest days or when motivation is completely absent. By applying these methods, Horace didn't just make his apartment tidier, he found calm, regained control over his environment, and even started enjoying his home in ways he hadn't for years. If this sounds familiar, if you've ever felt defeated by your own living space, don't scroll past just yet. Tap that hype button to help other seniors discover these life-changing tips, and stay with us because what you'll learn next could transform your home and your daily routine forever. Step 1. The one-item habit. One of the simplest and most effective ways to keep your home tidy without needing motivation is called the one-item habit. The idea is simple. Every time you move through your home, pick up just one item and put it back where it belongs. No long cleaning sessions, no exhausting checklists, just one small, deliberate action at a time. When energy is low, even tiny wins start to create momentum and a sense of control. Imagine Horace Leland, a 71-year-old retired jazz musician. His apartment was filled with memories, trumpets, sheet music, and photographs from decades of performances, but it was also cluttered. Newspapers piled up on the coffee table, mugs left from breakfast, scattered books across the couch. For years, the mess made him feel overwhelmed. The idea of tackling it all at once felt exhausting, almost impossible. One day, Horace decided to try something different. Instead of thinking about cleaning the entire room, he focused on just one item. He picked up the TV remote from the couch and returned it to the shelf. That was it. Less than 30 seconds of action, but it gave him a surprising sense of accomplishment. That small victory shifted his mindset, making him notice other items he could put away, without feeling the pressure of cleaning everything at once. The power of this habit lies in its compounding effect. One item becomes 2, then 3. Over a week, these tiny actions add up. That single remote might grow into a few books, a coffee mug, a scarf left on a chair, or even a small pile of laundry. Over time, the home starts to feel lighter and more organized, all without a single overwhelming cleaning session. For seniors, this method works especially well because it respects low-energy days, reduces mental clutter, and removes the need to push yourself into action. You simply do what you can, one small step at a time. To make the one-item habit even more effective, focus on high-traffic areas, spaces that get messy quickly like the living room, kitchen, hallway, or bedside table. Each time you pass through these areas, pick up one item and return it to its proper place. Don't worry if you repeat the process multiple times a day. Each repetition reinforces the habit and slowly teaches your space to stay organized naturally. The emotional payoff is significant. Unlike traditional cleaning routines, which often feel exhausting or guilt-inducing, this habit allows you to celebrate every small success. Even on a day when you feel drained, picking up just one item is an achievement. Horace found that the first time he tried this, he didn't realize how much relief that tiny action could bring. Over time, he began to feel calm, proud, and in control of his home again. A practical tip: use a small basket or container as a temporary holding spot. When you pick up an item, place it in the basket. At the end of the day, return everything in the basket to its proper place. This keeps the habit simple, prevents unnecessary walking back and forth, and ensures the action stays easy and low effort. The key takeaway of the one-item habit is this: you don't need motivation, long hours, or boundless energy to make progress. By consistently picking up one item at a time, your home gradually becomes tidier, your mind feels lighter, and even on the laziest days, you are creating a cleaner, more peaceful environment. This small habit proves that tidiness isn't about how motivated you are, it's about small, achievable actions that add up over time, transforming the way seniors experience their home. Step 2. The visual anchor method. Another powerful way to keep your home tidy without relying on motivation is called the visual anchor method. This step works because our eyes naturally guide our actions. Instead of waiting for energy or willpower to kick in, you create visual cues that remind you to take small, effortless actions. It's simple, practical, and perfect for seniors who want to maintain a clean home without feeling overwhelmed. Horace discovered this method after noticing that the clutter in his living room often grew in predictable spots: the coffee table, the kitchen counter, and the entryway. He realized that if he could set up simple visual anchors, objects or baskets that immediately signal "take action," he could tidy without even thinking about it. For example, he placed a small basket on the kitchen counter. Any stray items, like mail, keys, or glasses, were temporarily placed in the basket. When he saw it, it automatically reminded him to return the items to their proper place later. The clutter stopped silently piling up because the visual cue guided him to act without relying on motivation. The brilliance of this method is how effortless it feels. You don't have to plan a cleaning session or psych yourself up to start. Your eyes do the reminding, and your hands do the action. Over time, your brain associates certain areas with small tidying actions, turning cleaning into an almost automatic habit. High-traffic areas work best, like the living room coffee table, the kitchen counter, or the entryway where shoes and jackets tend to accumulate. For seniors, the visual anchor method has an emotional benefit too. Instead of feeling defeated by clutter, each visual cue becomes a small victory when you act on it. Horace found that seeing a full basket and returning the items to their proper places gave him a sense of control and accomplishment, without exhausting effort or motivation. It also helped him maintain a calm, organized environment even on days when he felt low energy or distracted. A helpful tip is to choose a single, noticeable object or container in each key area. It could be a basket, a tray, or even a decorative box. Make it part of your routine to drop stray items into it whenever you pass by. At the end of the day, take a few minutes to return everything to its proper place. This tiny practice turns visual clutter into a manageable, organized system, and it doesn't feel like work. The takeaway is clear: by using visual anchors, you remove the need for willpower and motivation. Your environment starts guiding your actions, your home stays tidier, and even on the laziest days, you're creating small wins that build into a consistently organized home. Horace's apartment became calmer, more welcoming, and surprisingly effortless to maintain, all thanks to this simple visual trick. Step 3. Reverse cleaning. This step may sound counterintuitive, but it's one of the most effective ways to keep your home clean without motivation. It's called reverse cleaning, and instead of starting with the messiest, most overwhelming areas, you begin with what is already clean, or almost clean. You work backward, not forward. This simple shift removes pressure and makes tidying feel possible, even on days when your energy is low. Most people make the same mistake. They look at the worst mess first. The overflowing counter. The cluttered floor. The stack of papers that's been sitting there for weeks. And the moment they see it, their mind shuts down. Reverse cleaning flips this completely. You start with something that takes almost no effort and gives immediate visual reward. For example, making the bed in the morning. Clearing a dining table that already has space. Straightening pillows on the couch. These tasks are gentle, quick, and don't demand motivation. Horace learned this after many days of avoiding his apartment altogether. One morning, instead of staring at the clutter in his living room, he walked into his bedroom and made his bed. It took less than 2 minutes. But when he stepped back and looked at it, something shifted. The room felt calmer, more settled. That one clean surface changed the mood of the entire space. Without planning to, he then picked up a jacket from the chair. Then he aligned the shoes by the door. None of it felt forced. The clean area quietly invited him to continue. This is the emotional power of reverse cleaning. Clean spaces create relief, not stress. When seniors see something already tidy, the brain doesn't feel threatened. Instead of thinking, "I can't handle this," it thinks, "This feels good." And that feeling gently pulls you forward. You're no longer cleaning to fix a problem, you're cleaning to protect a calm space you already enjoy. Reverse cleaning works especially well for seniors because it respects natural energy patterns. On days when your body feels stiff or your mind feels foggy, starting with a heavy task can feel impossible. But starting with something light builds confidence. It also reduces decision fatigue. You're not asking yourself, "Where do I begin?" You're simply choosing the easiest visible win. Here's how to use this step intentionally. Each day, choose one area that is already mostly clean. A table with only a few items. A bed that just needs straightening. A bathroom sink that only needs a quick wipe. Complete that task fully, then stop and look at it. Let yourself feel the calm of a finished space. If you feel like continuing, do, but only if it feels easy. If not, you've already succeeded for the day. The long-term effect is powerful. As more clean zones appear, your home begins to guide your behavior. Messy areas start to stand out not as failures, but as places that could feel just as peaceful. Horace noticed that once his dining table stayed clear, he naturally avoided placing clutter on it. The clean space trained him without effort or rules. The emotional hook of reverse cleaning is this: you are not behind, and you are not failing. You are starting from strength, not struggle. By focusing on what's already working, you create momentum without pressure. One clean surface leads to another, not because you pushed yourself, but because calm is contagious. This step proves that sometimes, the easiest way forward is to begin with what's already done. Step 4. Task swaps. This step is about changing how cleaning feels, not how much you do. It's called task swaps, and the idea is simple. Instead of treating chores as something separate and unpleasant, you quietly attach them to something you already enjoy. When done correctly, cleaning stops feeling like work and starts feeling like a background activity, almost incidental. Motivation becomes irrelevant because enjoyment takes the lead. Horace Leland didn't start cleaning more because he suddenly had energy. He started cleaning more because he stopped asking his brain to suffer through it. For years, chores felt heavy to him. Silence, effort, and obligation made every task feel longer than it was. One afternoon, he turned on an old jazz record, one he loved but hadn't played in years, and absent-mindedly started dusting the shelves while listening. Something unexpected happened. The dusting didn't feel like a task. It felt like a companion to the music. When the record ended, the shelves were clean, and Horace barely noticed he had been working. That's the power of task swaps. You're not telling yourself, "I need to clean." You're telling yourself, "I get to enjoy something I like," and the chore quietly tags along. Folding laundry while watching a favorite show. Wiping counters while waiting for the kettle to boil. Straightening the living room while listening to a familiar radio program. The enjoyable activity becomes the focus. The cleaning becomes secondary. This method works especially well for seniors because it reduces mental resistance. The brain doesn't like discomfort, but it does like pleasure and familiarity. When you pair a chore with something comforting, the brain stops fighting. Over time, certain pairings become automatic. Horace now associates vacuuming with music and folding clothes with his evening television routine. He no longer debates whether to clean. The habit activates on its own when the enjoyable activity begins. Another benefit of task swaps is how gentle they are on low-energy days. You don't need to stand for long periods or push yourself beyond your limits. Tasks can be done slowly, casually, even seated. Folding laundry while sitting comfortably. Sorting mail while enjoying a cup of tea. There's no rush, no pressure to finish everything at once. If the song ends or the show goes to commercial and you stop, that's fine. You've already made progress. Emotionally, this step changes your relationship with your home. Cleaning no longer feels like punishment for mess. It becomes part of your daily rhythm. Horace began to look forward to these moments, not because he loved cleaning, but because he loved how it made his time feel fuller and more enjoyable. The home slowly became tidier without effort, and more importantly, it became a place of comfort rather than stress. To use task swaps intentionally, choose one chore and one enjoyable activity and pair them consistently. Keep the pairing simple and repeatable. Over time, your brain will link them together. When the music starts, your hands move. When the show comes on, the laundry gets folded. No motivation required. The emotional truth behind task swaps is this: you don't need discipline to keep your home clean. You need kindness toward yourself. When cleaning feels pleasant instead of punishing, it stops being something you avoid. It becomes something that fits naturally into your life, quietly, gently, and almost without you noticing. Step 5. The one surface per room rule. This step is designed for days when your energy is limited and your patience is thin. It's called the one surface per room rule, and it works because it places a clear boundary on effort. Instead of thinking about cleaning an entire room, you choose just one surface in that room and stop there. Not the floor. Not the closet. Just one surface. That's it. For many seniors, the hardest part of cleaning isn't the task itself. It's the feeling that once you start, you'll have to keep going. This rule removes that fear completely. You are not committing to a room. You are not committing to a task list. You are committing to one shelf, one counter, one table. The brain relaxes when it knows there's an end point. Horace Leland adopted this rule after realizing that whole rooms felt overwhelming, but individual surfaces did not. One afternoon, instead of cleaning the living room, he chose a single bookshelf. Just one. He slowly straightened the books, removed a few items that didn't belong, and wiped the surface. When he stepped back, the entire room felt different. That one tidy surface changed how the space felt, even though everything else stayed the same. This is the secret power of surfaces. They dominate how we visually experience a room. A clear countertop makes the kitchen feel functional. A tidy nightstand makes the bedroom feel restful. A clean coffee table makes the living room feel welcoming. You don't need to do everything for a room to feel organized, you just need one visible win. The emotional impact of this step is subtle but powerful. Each finished surface gives you a sense of completion, not exhaustion. You're not left thinking about what you didn't do. You're left seeing what you did do. For seniors, this is especially important because it replaces guilt with confidence. You end the task feeling capable, not drained. To use this rule effectively, decide ahead of time what counts as a surface for you. A countertop. A dresser top. A desk corner. A windowsill. Keep it small and clear. Once it's done, stop, even if you feel like you could do more. Stopping intentionally trains your brain to trust that cleaning doesn't have to spiral into effort. Ironically, this often makes you more willing to start again the next day. Over time, something interesting happens. As different surfaces stay consistently clear, clutter has fewer places to land. Horace noticed that once his nightstand stayed clean, he naturally avoided placing things there. The surface taught him how to keep it tidy without rules or reminders. The home slowly began to organize itself. The emotional hook of the one surface per room rule is this: you are allowed to do less and still make progress. You don't need strength, speed, or motivation. You just need a small, visible win. One surface at a time, your house begins to feel calmer, more intentional, and easier to live in, without ever overwhelming your energy. Step 6. The end-of-day reset. This final step works not because it requires effort, but because it gives closure. It's called the end-of-day reset, and it takes just 2 to 3 minutes before bed. Not 10. Not 20. Just a short, intentional pause to return a few things to where they belong. This isn't cleaning. It's preparing your space to rest with you. For many seniors, evenings are when energy is lowest. That's exactly why this step works. You're not trying to fix the whole house. You're simply putting the day away. A book goes back on the shelf. A blanket is folded over the arm of the chair. A cup is carried to the sink. Small, gentle movements that signal to your body and mind that the day is complete. Horace Leland treats this reset like the last note of a song. He doesn't rush it. Before heading to bed, he walks through his apartment once. No backtracking. No searching. Just noticing. If something is out of place and easy to fix, he fixes it. If it requires effort, he leaves it. This rule keeps the reset calm and achievable, even on tired nights. The emotional reward comes the next morning. When you wake up to a space that's already settled, your nervous system feels it immediately. There's less visual noise, less decision-making, less pressure to get started. For seniors, this sense of calm in the morning is deeply grounding. It turns waking up into a gentle transition instead of a mental hurdle. This step also builds a quiet sense of pride. Not the loud kind that comes from big accomplishments, but the steady kind that says, I took care of myself yesterday. Even when nothing else gets done, the reset counts. It becomes a daily win that doesn't depend on motivation or energy. To keep this habit sustainable, attach it to something you already do every night. After brushing your teeth. After turning off the television. After setting the alarm. The reset becomes a natural extension of your evening routine, not an extra task competing for attention. Over time, this practice changes how clutter forms. Because items are returned daily, mess never has the chance to pile up into something overwhelming. Horace noticed that his mornings felt lighter, and his evenings became calmer. The reset created a sense of rhythm, each day ending cleanly, without stress or self-criticism. It also reduces anxiety about tomorrow. When the space is settled, the mind rests easier, sleep comes faster, and mornings begin with confidence instead of chaos or mental clutter waiting to be handled. The deeper emotional hook of the end-of-day reset is this: you deserve to wake up to peace. Not perfection. Not a spotless home. Just a space that supports you instead of draining you. With only a few minutes each night, your home becomes a quieter, kinder place, one that meets you gently at the start of every day. Today, Horace Leland's home tells a different story. The piles are gone. The pressure is gone. What remains is a space that feels light, calm, and manageable. Not because he found motivation, and not because he forced himself into long, exhausting cleaning sessions, but because he stopped fighting his energy and started working with it. Tiny habits quietly replaced overwhelm. One small action at a time, his home began to support him instead of draining him. The real transformation isn't just the tidy shelves or clear surfaces. It's the peace of mind. Horace no longer wakes up feeling behind. He no longer avoids rooms because they feel heavy. His home now feels like a place that welcomes him back at the end of the day, no matter how tired he feels. And that's the part most people miss. Cleaning isn't about perfection, it's about making life easier on yourself. Here's the truth many seniors are relieved to hear: you don't need motivation. You don't need energy. You don't need discipline. You just need the right tiny habits, and they work even on the laziest days. When habits are small enough, they happen naturally. And when they happen daily, they change everything. Before you go, make sure you hit that hype button. It helps push this message to other seniors who need simple, realistic solutions like this. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. And if this helped you, or reminded you of someone you care about, share it today. Let's make effortless home tidying a reality for seniors everywhere.